Yo guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm at the gym right now. I was in my car drinking not one but two double espressos. I was like kind of helping myself up, getting myself ready to go into the gym, and then I saw this motherfucker, this guy who was my first time, and I was like so head over heels for this guy. I was like willing to do anything for him, and I was like bending over backwards for him, and he was a DL guy, and I just saw him leave Planet Fitness with a mutual friend of ours. That was the catalyst, out of the car into the gym, because this guy like caused some serious mental turmoil for me. I'm definitely not protecting him anymore. Okay, I'm back in my car, but I'm actually not done with the gym just yet. My headphones died. Usually I'm on top of that, but these past days have just been one big discombobulated blur. I forgot. So currently, obviously, in the car, putting it on charge. Might as well put my phone on charge after I do this because my phone's kind of dying. My goal was like work out at the gym till your phone dies. My phone's at 33%. We'll see if I can get that lasting longer. I did have a portable charger, but alas, that portable charger only had 8% on it, so that died quickly. Let's get into it. So basically, I met this guy when we were in 7th grade, and he was like a complete asshole, like, and no one liked him. He was just like such a shit person. Not saying all of us were angels. We were not all angels back then, for sure. And like knowing what I was like going through during that age, it was like, you know, it was tricky times. So I despised him so much that he was just talking so much shit. Okay, I'm just gonna start over. So basically, there's this guy who I met around 7th grade. I really despised him. Most people despised him. He was just an annoying kid from another state. I really didn't like him at all. In fact, like, I didn't like him so much that I refused to talk to him. And we were on the same basketball team, Future Spartans. One of our tournaments, his parents wasn't able to take him, so his mom asked my mom if we could drive him there and back, and my mom said yes. I'm like, Mom, what the fuck you doing? No, I hate this guy. And so literally on the entire car ride to the tournament, we were sitting in the back seat and it was just silent, like we weren't talking to each other. And then we ended up having some camaraderie on the court, and then our team won, and then we had like a dinner afterwards and good in spirits, and on the way home we were cracking jokes, we were vibing. And then I asked like, hey, do you want to like have a sleepover like next week or something like that? And he said yeah. And so he came over and we were hanging out, playing Mario Kart, you know, just like as like middle schoolers do. I don't know what I was feeling at that time, but I was feeling a kind of sense of attraction. And then and so we were just having a jolly old time. And then he asked like if I could steal some wine, some alcohol from my mom. I was like, wow, you're so bad. Like, I've never even done that before. And so I was like, okay, let's think. What's something that she wouldn't notice? And so I was like, the Trader Joe's boxed wine. So I grabbed the Trader Joe's boxed wine and I take it, and just in case, because I didn't know, like, this is at night, but just in case my mom walked in, we went into my walk-in closet, started drinking. We ended up like playing a truth or dare type of game, and one thing led to another. We were having some type of connection, and we had that on the DL for the entire summer and up until I was like 16. But near the end of our whatever situation, he just like publicly kept on distancing himself further and further away from me for like no good reason, and that like really hurt. That made me feel like something was wrong with me, and it definitely affected my mental sanity and like my actions, and just a whole lot. And obviously like at home, I couldn't even like go to my parents about this because I didn't have that type of relationship with them. So it's very isolating. And you know, there are a few people I told about this, but for the most part I kept it in, which was like killing me, and that was so unfair. that was so unfair. He like took advantage of like my graciousness on that for sure. And then we just kind of fell out of touch. A few years later, during the holidays when we were both home for Christmas, I get like, this was like in 2019. 2019? Yeah, this is like 2019. He messages me out of the blue, asks if he can come over, and I'm like, sure. And he brings his dab, and I dab for the first time. That was fucking insane. And then he like tells me, like, he spills his guts out and then tells me like that he's sorry for the way he treated me, and that like he's not attracted to guys, but for me he is, and like all this stuff. And keep in mind, like, his family's super religious, so he's always been like taught hate from a very early age. And so then we end up hooking up because I'm like, oh my god, I'm such a sucker, such a fool. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this guy, like, that I had a first connection with, like, he's sorry, like, I was like delusional. I was so delusional. I was like, oh, now he sees me for me, and now we can possibly be together because I can show him what love is supposed to look like. Before he left, we were like talking, like, yeah, we should like hang out again. And he was like, yeah. And then the next day I like message him and then hear nothing from him whatsoever. Radio silence. That like destroyed me. That hurt me so much. That whole thing, that dynamic I had with him was, I don't know if I regret it, but I really wish I had someone that I was able to talk to about that. And then a few years pass, and then it's like the winter of 2022. Everyone is back in town. And guys, the reason why I keep on seeing this motherfucker is because I live in a small town, okay? And we all grew up with each other, so a lot of mutual friends, a lot of people you know when you go out. So I went out and I ended up meeting one of his friends at a dive bar, and we started talking, and I was really drunk and stuff, and also bitter of this guy. And so I just like told her everything. I asked her not to share. She definitely shared with her other friend who was friends with him, because they always knew, and there was like 1 or 2 rumors about us, but it was never confirmed for most people. And other people just didn't have any clue. And if there was rumors, I think a lot of people kind of like forget that. Like, it's not in the front of mind anymore. You know, it's been years since high school. I tell her everything, thinking like, I'm never gonna see this motherfucker again, like the guy, and like, fuck him. Like, like I was like eating myself up inside trying to hold this on. And then later I go to another dive bar that night after I had just spieled all the facts, all the truths. And then I see him at the bar with his friends who I grew up with. He acts like he doesn't know me. He's not giving me the time of day. All the other guys though, they're talking to me. They're engaging with me. I went up to him. I was like, dude, like, it's all fine. Like, you don't need to be acting like this way around me. Like, we're chill. I'm not going to tell anyone. Fast forward to this video a year later. For that, I don't know what I expected. I guess there were a few times when I hoped that he would message me. It was like my first time. That was my first time fully opening up to someone. Unfortunately, it was the wrong person to fully open up to. That left a lot of scars and insecurities moving forward in my dating life and certain tolerance that I have for like mistreatment. And I think that my tolerance back then, particularly for mistreatment, was quite high because my parents verbally and socially mistreated me, manipulated me, kept me in the dark for a lot of things. And so I guess a lot of normal red signs mixed in with teenage hormones kept me from seeing that this guy was no good for me, and that my love shouldn't be closeted, that it should be out in the open. Back to the intro, I was sitting in this very spot, saw him and a friend leave the Planet Fitness, and I had that like I had that jolt reaction because I was like, oh shit, I should have gone in sooner and then I would have ran into them. But then then I was like, Ricky, that's crazy. Like you're drinking coffee, you're preparing yourself for the gym. And then I thought about like, and then my body was like, oh, you should just jump out and say like, hey, and then like talk to the mutual friend and stuff. And I for the first time, I think I can say I didn't act on that urge, that impulse to do that. And it's so stupid. It's just so silly. I mean, I need to cut myself some slack, but this guy is like nothing to fawn over. He's hanging out with people who I don't think would really fuck with him, to be honest, if he was authentically himself. But whatever. I don't know him like that. You know, it's been years since I would have been able to even have an inkling of a notion of what. But definitely makes me feel better about how I'm living my life, how I've been living my life. I know that this video is going to eventually be seen by some people who will be able to piece together who it is that I'm talking about. I really hope that even though this person caused me severe pain and trauma, I haven't, like, I've only given you guys a surface level of the bullshit that I experienced with him. If this comes back to him, then I just wish him best of luck. I hope that you're not doing this to anyone else. Yeah, like, fuck you. I don't have to not name you, but out of the decency that you did not afford me, I'm keeping your name out of my mouth. I'm gonna go back into the gym now because, gosh, I am so pent up with anger and rage and just a lot of testosterone that I just need to, like, get out. This morning was already kind of a tedious morning. I wanted to cry. I don't know why. You know how, like, women have, like, changes in hormones? Well, obviously men have changes in hormones too. And so I think that I've noticed that throughout my life, particularly in the later years. When I say later years, I mean like my 20s, where I've noticed like around this time of the month, I just like feel kind of shit. But also I think it's just me sitting into my my pain. And there's nothing wrong with it as long as I get myself out. But I'm gonna go back into the gym, sweat out my problems, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I post new videos every single day, so make sure you smash that bell notification so you're notified of all future videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, love you guys, peace, bye.